This is my 1993 Toyota Hilux Surf 4-wheel drive 2.4 diesel, and it's currently been sitting here in the Hedge of Heartbreak for about 4 or 5 years. Originally it was sat over there in the drive behind the camera, and then I used it to move a couple of cars around that wouldn't start, and then I parked it here and appear to have just forgotten about it. However, now I have plans for it. Come and have a look at this. Now, I haven't cleaned any of it out, I've just come straight out here and started filming it. So there's a few bits and pieces in here that do need tidying out. This bit is obviously your typical front end where driver and possible passenger sit. Nothing too spectacular in there, although I do have to admit it is really comfortable when you're sat in it. It's a shame about the damage to the upholstery on both sides, top and bottom of the seat there, but aside from that, it is a wonderfully comfortable place to be. But that's not the important bit, and that's not the bit that you're going to be interested in today. This is the bit that you're going to be mostly interested in today, not only because it's full of rubbish at the back that I still need to sort out, but it goes from where you can see the spare wheel there. There's all this space up to where the back seats are. Now, both back seats actually fold flat in this. This is the seat base, which pulls up and sits behind the driver's seat. This is the backrest, which falls nice and flat. So you've got from here all the way to the back at the end of the tailgate over there. So I was thinking, this would be a wonderful place to make a micro camper out of. And I think there's enough space for it. Now, obviously, as is fairly apparent, there's not a lot of headroom above me here. So I'm not obviously going to be able to stand up in this. I don't think any average sized person would be able to stand up in this at all. However, as a micro camper, you don't really need to be able to stand up in it. And if you haven't already noticed these days, there seems to be an awful lot of people that are using their cars, converted vans, motorhomes, etc. to travel the country, see new things, experience new experiences, meet new people. And I was thinking, seeing as how this is just sitting here in the Hedge of Heartbreak, it might be worth doing some kind of conversion to, getting out there, meeting people, experiencing new things. I think this might work. And the beauty of thinking of doing this kind of conversion just happens to be that after watching God knows how many videos on YouTube of van lifers, car campers, motorhome owners that are just going anywhere they want, not only in the UK but across the world as well. Some people are doing it in cars like Land Rovers, seeing some people do it in just ordinary family hatchbacks and family estate cars. But I think this would be a better way of doing it in here, because although it's not a Land Rover, it is, as I said, a 4x4, and it's got Toyota's unbelievable reliability. Hopefully it still has that anyway. Yeah, I think that could be a whole load of fun. Now, it doesn't look as though there's a lot of space in here at the minute, and I do appear to be pretty cramped, but as I'm on my own, I could take these back seats out that I'm currently sitting on, and that would give me a bit more space down to the floor level, and I could also take this seat out here and use this whole section for the bed. What do you think? Would that be an idea? Or would I be better off leaving the front seat in so I can at least have one passenger or somewhere to put stuff that won't go in the back of the car? And of course, if I put the seat rest back up, click that into place, there's a bit of a lump here, but there is a step down there where this sits, and that's only held on by this bolt and that one over there, and those two there hold the seat base in. So maybe I could unbolt the seat base and utilise these two brackets as some kind of flip up or flip down table or seat to make it lower than the rest of it is. That's always a possibility. And of course, the other thing that this particular Hilux has is the spare wheel carrier on the back with the ladders. Now that does swing open and attaches over here, so it'll stay open while you drop the tailgate. Now on these, it's not a full tailgate that rises up. That back window actually slides down into the tailgate, and the tailgate drops down, giving you a seat. So that'll be really useful. I can't open the window at night because there's no batteries in it at the minute, and it needs the batteries to power the window to come down. But that, I'm thinking, would be handy to make some form of seat to sit on. And I'm sure there's space up there along the side somewhere to maybe attach some form of awning. Now, this particular Hilux was imported into the UK back in 2004 when it was first registered here. It's actually a 1993 model, which makes it a second generation Toyota Hilux Surf, or if you're watching from elsewhere in the world, you may know it as a Toyota 4Runner, as that's how it was sold in other places. As I said, it's a 2.4 diesel. It's not the fastest car in the world, but it does get along fairly well for what it is. Now, there are one or two issues with it that I need to take care of before I can just go ahead and start converting the back there into some form of micro camper. The most important being it doesn't currently have an MOT, and because it doesn't currently have an MOT, it's not taxed. So I need to address that. Now, the MOT that's on it at the moment ran out in 2017, or the MOT that was on it ran out in 2017. And for the life of me, I can't think why, and I can't remember why I didn't take it for an MOT, because it hasn't failed an MOT back in 2017 when it ran out. I just parked it in the drive and didn't bother taking it for another one. There was a couple of drives on the last MOT when it did pass in 2016, and that was some wear on the anti-roll bar bushes, or the sway bar bushes at the front, a couple of corroded brake pipes, the stuff everybody has. And, oh yeah, the side steps down here, apparently they're a little bit corroded, which is really strange because I'm sure the side steps themselves are made of strong aluminium. Problem is the supports underneath them that hold them onto the chassis, well, they're made of mild steel, and obviously they're not there anymore. They still hold my weight and getting in and out of it, they're just not there anymore. So I think the side steps are going to have to come off. Maybe through time it might be worth taking them off and replacing them with some form of rock slider, just in case you find any of those car parks that have the bigger than normal pebbles in them that you have to bounce over. And of course, it's not going to cost that much to convert it to start with into some form of micro camper at the back, because I already do car shows away for the weekend, and I go to Santa Pod for the weekend sometimes as well. I do have a fair amount of camping equipment. Now, I do happen to have an air mattress that I could blow up, so I could sleep on that. There's a sleeping bag or a quilt. I do have a double burner gas cooker and a bottle of gas to go with it. I also have a cool box, so I have a form of fridge. So I'm thinking maybe for the first couple of times that I use it, it will just be the air mattress, the quilt or the sleeping bag, the gas cooker and the cool box. Oh, not forgetting the kettle and the pan, obviously, because that's pretty much all you need. And it's all about being minimalistic and enjoying as much as you possibly can these days, which is why the video itself is called Surfing Safari, because this is a surf, and safari means expedition or journey. And it would be nice to take this on a couple of journeys that it's never been on. And with it being four-wheel drive, we might even be able to go off-road a little bit and park up in some wonderful areas and see what happens. Yes, I'm definitely going to have a go at that. The first thing I need to do, of course, is to get the batteries charged up, because it does have two batteries. This is the SSRG or the SSRX model, and as such it comes with the winter pack. Now, the winter pack means it has two batteries in the front and a heater at the back, so even the people in the back of the car can have their own heater on if they want to. That's assuming that still works, because those pipes are known for corroding and rotting out underneath the car, which is where they run. So that could be entertaining. But yeah, we'll get the batteries on charge, get it started, see if we can drag it out of here, and then we'll get those brake pipes looked at, get the ball joints, the bushes of the anti-roll bar looked at. Maybe just put it in for an OT, see where we'll go from there. There's bound to be a bit of rust to sort out on it. Oh, I know there's two places that definitely need looking at straight away. One of them is this back bumper, which is pretty much non-existent now, and rotted all the way along. But I'm not too concerned about that, because those back bumpers, they're a three-piece bumper and they are still available. There's a place down in Birmingham by the name of Rough Tracks where all the supplies for these come from. So if you need anything, you can get it there. And they do stock those bumpers, both in chrome and in plastic. So whichever way I want to go with, I can do that. The other area that needs attention is here at the front. Now, as you can see along here, that is suffering from some major rust, so that needs to be cut out and replaced. Obviously all of that needs to be cleaned up and repainted. And as well as that, there's a bumper missing. Well, when I say there's a bumper missing, it's not just the bumper, is it? Because in the thumbnail, the front of it has a bull bar as well. Nice stainless steel one that matches very nicely all the spare wheel hanger and the ladder on the back that takes you up to the roof. I do still have the bull bar. It's in storage at the minute, so it's somewhere nice and safe. The bumper on the front is long gone. That rotted away and disintegrated, but it was replaced for a while with a solid heavy duty winch bumper, which I still have. So I have the bumper to go on. I've just got to sort out that bit of welding it needs at the front, and more than likely more welding elsewhere that it needs. I'll do a check, see what I can find, but if there's something I can't find, I'm sure the MOT inspector will find it. But I think this definitely needs to be back on the road. Oh, there's also a problem under the bonnet. I think the turbo is blown. But we're not going to worry about that too much. It's only a blown turbo. And I do have a spare one, so I can just swap that over if I need to. And it also needs exhaust manifold gasket as well. But I also have the exhaust manifold gasket, so I haven't got to worry about that either. This is going to be fun. And just in case you're wondering, it's got 198,801 miles on it. Although looking at it again, that might be 198,802. But it's certainly got very nearly 200,000 miles on it. Now, in this particular one, that doesn't mean an awful lot, because not long after I got it, it overheated severely in the middle of town, in the middle of morning rush hour, which was highly entertaining. I thought it was a blown water pump or a blown head gasket. Turns out it wasn't. It was actually a cracked cylinder head, which I replaced. And when the engine was stripped down to get the cylinder head off, we also noticed that, well, I'll put a couple of pictures in here, but we also noticed that there was not a lot of the cylinders left around the top where the pistons sit, with regards to the damage that had been done when the cylinder head cracked. So not only has it had a new cylinder head, it's also had a second-hand good or known good engine block and pistons as well. I rebuilt the engine. I took the engine out, put it in the garage, rebuilt it with some help from some friends on the internet that I've posted a lot of questions on and got responses back from them to help me. I was most surprised when I put the engine back together, put it back in the car, turned the key and it fired up and drove out the drive. That was amazing. I was well impressed with that, which is probably why it's still here. Because let's face it, the way it looks at the moment, there's not a lot of value in it. But there's a lot of value in it to me because this was the first engine I ever removed from a vehicle on my own. And it was also the first engine I ever built back together on my own and put back in the car. I had help from a couple of friends with the awkward bits of actually getting it out from under the bonnet. But apart from that, I just put it all back together myself in the garage with help from various people on the internet, as you do. The internet's amazing for things like that. I think that was about 2013, 2014. I'll throw some pictures in, or you'll have seen the pictures a couple of minutes ago of how it looked when the engine was getting put back together and how it looked with no engine in it. But as I built the engine and it runs, I'm sort of loath to get rid of it, and it's just been sitting here languishing in the hedge of heartbreak, waiting for a decision to be made of what was going to happen to it. So we're going to put it back on the road. We're going to convert it into a micro camper once it's all MOT'd and road legal. And we're going to get the whole thing back together and we'll be enjoying it. Looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. Anywho, in the next video, hopefully the batteries will be fully charged. We'll get them on here. We'll see if it'll fire up and we'll see if we can drive it out, have a good look around it and see if we can find out any other issues that may or may not be wrong with it, especially since it's been parked. I haven't seen that side of it for about 5 years, so I've got no idea what that side looks like. It might be a long way to get it done, but we'll get it done and then we'll get out on the road as soon as we can and we're going to have some fun with it. Now, I know a friend of mine, Bodie, if you're watching, I know by now this is probably a tinkle grasping moment, but it has to be done. Need to get out there, need to put this back on the road, need to get all the cars on the road. And if you're watching this as one of my viewers or one of my subscribers and you haven't yet checked out the Bodie's World channel, you really need to do that. You really need to do that. All the Vanlife stuff I've been watching, and when I've been watching Bodie going out in his motorhome, Netty, and all the talk in the live chats with various people about their motorhomes, it's all his fault. I'm blaming you, Bodie. This is your fault. If this gets to be mega expensive, it's all your fault. God, it's going to be worth it, though. Thanks for watching this one. If you want to see how this goes in the conversion, putting it back on the road in the conversion of the microcamper, subscribe now. Ring the bell so you don't miss any of these videos. I'll get them out as quick as I can. They might be a little bit longer in length than some of the videos I've put out in the past, but I want to get through this and get it done as quickly as I can. Don't forget to caress the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Like, subscribe, come back again for builds.